I've been fucking with dhewm3, the source port, dhewm3, and at first I installed it because I wanted to just test a few differences or see what the differences were. And at this point, I fucked with it a little bit, and I don't know what all the differences are. I have read about it a little bit on the website, but I haven't looked a whole lot into it or really spent much time fucking with it. But some stuff is definitely different, at least by default. So one of the things I had mentioned was the plasma gun, and it definitely shoots slower by default because I booted up vanilla, and you know I was annoyed by the bullshit of it. It's like, why is this pseudo portable installation? It's like, why are you going to do that and then just put everything in a foot? Like, some of the shit just doesn't work. So if I put the save path to the actual folder that it's in, none of the saves will load. It expects them to be in a certain place. And it said, you stupid fucks. Well, what's the point of your fucking, custom code and you can't even do basic shit? But it annoyed me, and I was going to just stop because I only wanted to check a couple things. Something I had read said the movement was different, and I wanted to double check it with vanilla. And, well, no, something was different. I don't remember exactly what it was at this point, but I wanted to at least try it out. And that, I noticed the plasma gun, but then I read that the movement was different, and I decided to test that. And I'll get to that in a sec. But, basically, since I was already playing, I was like, all right, I already loaded it to test some shit out, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm already playing it. I'll just do my run, in this version. So I'm to, actually, I just got to hell, and I've been playing on veteran, and I think I might do a video entirely on the shotgun because there's some stuff related to that. But, it's been pretty easy, like a lot easier. I'm not sure when the last time I played on veteran would have been. But now also I'm thinking, like, I constantly have to check the like skill, G_skill in the console. Because sometimes enemies, they die too fast. I'm like, is this really on fucking veteran? But from what I understand, the higher difficulties don't actually give them more health. There's more of them on veteran. But I don't know. But either way, it's a lot easier than I remember. And normally I play it on the easy mode. And I really don't like it's like Fear on Extreme, right? It's like, it's still pretty easy. It's just there's a higher penalty for fucking up. But either way, when I tested the plasma gun, my intuition was correct, but it wasn't for the reason that I thought. So I had a vague awareness, since I've been looking into it, that they have altered some of the stuff in the game. And as I was looking into stuff, that was one of the things I noticed is, supposedly they changed the movement stuff a bit. And I decided to check that on the vanilla game, and it definitely is a lot easier to bunny hop on dhewm3. It's not super difficult to bunny hop in vanilla, but it's definitely easier. And, at some point I'm going to really compare them more closely, but I thought maybe they had changed the plasma gun somehow through the code, but it turns out it changed not for the reason I was thinking. It's actually a reason I would have never even thought of, really. So as I was checking on some other like, I don't even remember what issue I was looking for or whatever the fuck it was. Or maybe I was searching for that. I was just searching, the plasma gun is shooting slow or something. Well, it turns out they have this command called com_async sound. So I guess it stands for asynchronous. but they've got two settings as far as I can tell. One is their version, which is the default, that says it's like 25 milliseconds or something like that. But then two will set it to the default, which they say is 100 milliseconds. Now, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to what exactly it's talking about. I just noticed, the main differences on that. And when I set it to 2, which is supposed to be the default, sure enough, the plasma gun shoots like it used to. So I thought that was weird. Oh, by the way, that's another thing. So even though this shit won't go into the folders I want it to go into, it'll still read if I make an auto exec in the base folder, it'll still read that. Except whenever I put the fucking command in the auto exec to unbind F10. Because F10, they've got their own like custom dev menu or like whatever the fuck it is. But every time I close the game and reopen it, it's like re-enabled. And I don't know. I'll have to fuck with that at some point too. But for whatever I guess I think what I read said that the firing rate is to some degree dependent on the actual sound file or something like that, which could make sense. I've seen games that are like that. And however exactly it's going on now, the plasma rifle is back to how it was, and I think maybe it actually affects a few other guns. What's interesting about it though is that so with their version, the plasma rifle, it shoots overall slower, but it's like exactly periodic. Every shot has the same interval between it or whatever. Whereas with the old school, actual vanilla behavior, it shoots overall faster, but it has this sort of aperiodic, you know, uh, repeating thing to it. So like it's like or something like that, right? Um, I don't know why it was like that, but I've seen a lot of video games that are like that. Um, where the firing rate or something like that will have this weird staccato to it. I don't know why that would matter, but either way, it was nice to figure that out. The thing is, though, I mean, that could make a pretty significant gameplay difference. I mean, unless I'm wrong and like the difference is only a visual or like audible difference, but the overall, TTK is identical. So again, there's a lot of this stuff I haven't super looked into yet, but you know, the run I've been doing is all right. Although I have the issue that I get with a lot of games as I'm playing through them. I'm pretty loose with my saving early on, but the more I get into the run, I start to do this thing where I'll constantly be saving and I'll reload the save if I take any damage at all. I don't know. I start to get fucking just annoyed by it because a lot of times, you take cheap hits and it's like, come the fuck on. But whatever. I try to loosen up with that, and I end up doing that a lot. But I mean, dhewm3 is pretty easy. So I was seeing motherfuckers talking about the shotgun, but the the BFG version changes a lot of shit. And apparently, like I'm pretty sure I read in the past that they changed the shotgun, but from what I read on the wiki pages, there doesn't seem to be a difference. Like I think it said that the submachine gun shoots faster, but for the most part, I don't know. Like I said, not every page could necessarily have all the info. I'd probably have to look at the def files or whatever. But BFG's shit is harder to work with, and these search engines suck. They're not search engines anymore. They're fucking advertisement engines. So they make everything. The shit you're actually looking for they hide, so you spend more time. And of course, most motherfuckers don't use ad blockers. But whatever. It can be kind of retardedly difficult to find basic fucking answers to shit. But I'm pretty sure dhewm3 also, or BFG also changed the shotgun. I mean, if nothing else, having a light source constantly changes a lot about how the game works. And, Doom 3 is one of those rare games. It's sort of like Counter-Strike 1.6, where footsteps actually matter, sound sources actually matter. A lot of the enemies, unless they're the ones that spawn in on pentagrams, you'll hear them breathing or making other noises and be able to tell that they're there ahead of time. It's one of those games that, very rare do I not just like be listening to music of, whatever I want to listen to and have the game muted while I'm playing it. Doom 3 is one of those rare games where the sound is not only so good but so important to the gameplay that I'll actually, not all the time, but more than never, and probably at least half the time, actually be listening purely to just the game audio. But the flashlight, you don't really need it, and I don't know why they did that with BFG, because I mean they already brightened up everything. Like I've been watching multiple different things, and some of it is kind of laughable. Like the part with the guy with the lantern and you like follow him. That area is so bright in BFG that you don't even need to turn the flashlight on, much less, there's so many different ways that they fucked up the gameplay. But, and something else is weird. It's like, dude, I swear I had Doom 3 and ROE on Steam. Because I used to have BFG on Steam. I mean, I never paid for it. Pretty sure I got it, for already owning the games on there. But now it's like, they're not there. It's like, I don't fucking know. Steam is just, a way to convince motherfuckers to just pirate everything. Because, I wouldn't be surprised if they just deleted them off my fucking account or something. But, yeah, at least I got the problem figured out with the plasma gun. There's some distinct differences I've noticed so far, although the other ones I don't know, I can't think of off the top of my head. I didn't really plan anything. Sometimes I'll, keep a couple notes, write something down if there's some shit I want to make sure I say in the video, but, this time I just wanted to talk about the game, so I guess I'll just, fucking end up saying whatever I fucking think of in the moment. But one of the few things I didn't do on this run that I usually will do is I didn't bother getting the BFG early, because when Swan and the other guy are like running through that part with the maggots or whatever, it's right before the vagaries in pro or whatever the fuck it is. If you're fast enough, you can actually kill them and get the BFG. I didn't end up bothering. I forgot about it, and at that point I was like, whatever. I'm not that worried about it. And at first I wasn't making a whole lot of saves, but I've started doing it more. One thing I noticed actually, like a minute ago, so I don't remember if vanilla does this or not, but at least in dhewm, they got, at least you get like 4 quick saves. Well, fucking with console commands, I noticed there's one called like, calm underscore num quick saves or something like that. And you can actually set that number. So I set it to like 1,000. And now I almost feel like I'm playing Anomaly or whatever, because in Anomaly you can get like 20 quick saves, which is pretty nice, because, it is nice to not, you ever have that happen, you accidentally quick save when you shouldn't have. That was a problem with me with Half-Life on the PS2 back in the day. That was my first experience with that kind of shit. It's like I'm falling into a pit and I quick save when I meant to quick load, and like now I'm fucked, because the PS2 version really didn't have save slots. So it's nice to have, at least a set number, and all right, they'll get overwritten every 20 or whatever. Well, seems like with dhewm I can set it to pretty much whatever the fuck I want. So I've already made like, 50 numbered quick saves. So I'm not doing as much hard saving. I try to stop myself from save scumming, but my saving is to get past their scum, right? some of the times you just, all the enemies behind you shit or whatever. But yeah, I'm at 15.